So far I've got my title, so I know I'm describing a scene at a fun fair, and I've put the criteria into my own words. So now I need to start thinking about what I'm actually going to include, what sort of things will the teacher be looking for when this is marked. So a couple of weeks ago we looked at these flashcards on Go Conquer, which has a list of descriptive techniques. So it has simile, metaphor, hyperbole, personification, etc. So by looking at the flashcards, I've learned what each one of these are, flipping it over, so I know pathetic fallacy is a type of personification where emotions are reflected in the weather or other objects, such as a furious wind carried angry clouds overhead. So those are the sort of things I'm going to be looking to include in my final descriptive piece, and I've made a list of these in my plan and notes just to keep those in my mind so I remember them. Now this isn't a checklist, I don't need to necessarily include every single one of these. I might want to include most of them, but there might be some that won't be appropriate for my piece. There's also not a sort of set amount I should be including per paragraph. So it's not like first paragraph I should do a simile, second paragraph I should do a metaphor, or I should be doing, 3 of these for each paragraph. I just need to use them when they're appropriate. Some paragraphs might not have any, though I'll probably have some. Some paragraphs might have 5. Think of them as like tools in a toolbox. If you're doing a DIY job, you don't just get out every single tool all at once and think, right, I'm doing this job, so I've got to use a hammer, I've got to use a screwdriver, I've got to use a saw. You just use the right tools for the right job when that job appears. So maybe sometimes you'll only use a hammer, maybe sometimes you'll use all the tools in your toolbox. So these are just there for when I need them. So keeping these in mind, I've now thought about what are my first ideas when I think of a fun fair. So I haven't done any research yet, but I've just jotted down some ideas. What comes into my mind as soon as I think of a fun fair? Okay, well obviously there's lots of rides, so I sort of think of a helter-skelter first of all. There's going to be candy floss, I always associate that with fun fairs. Definitely lots of bright lights, particularly if it's at night. For some reason I sort of see fun fairs often being at night against the dark sky. There's going to be prizes for the stalls, so there might be goldfish in bags swimming around. That could be quite a good image to include. There's the other prizes, those sort of plastic things you get, bows and arrows, plastic assault rifles. You always see those at the stalls. There's definitely going to be a hot dog stand or a burger bar, something like that. There's going to be a ghost train, a fun house, some sort of spinning ride. And then I started thinking about what sort of people are going to be there. The sort of main people I imagine being at fun fair are young couples and young people, and maybe they're chewing gum, blowing bubble gum. And I also thought maybe there's people jangling change about, so when they're standing waiting for their rides, they're sort of jangling the change in their hands or in their pockets because they're impatient to get on the rides. So those are just my very first ideas, but obviously I need a few more ideas from that. That's not quite enough for an hour-long description. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Google, I'm writing about a fun fair, so I'm going to type in fun fair. Okay, and I'll start with images. I could look at videos, but I'm just going to look at images first of all. So we've got like a merry-go-round. Here we have, it's at night, so there's all the bright lights there, everything's lit up. Got the ice cream there. Lots of people standing around. Here's one in a grassy field. So you might have families there with pushchairs. Sort of kids rides as well as the adult rides. What else we've got there for helter-skelter? So I can research from Google to get some more ideas. I might also look at, say, the fun fair food. So I can do more specific research. So we've got hot dogs, popcorn, toffee apples, all things you'd expect. What's this? Chicken burger? Something? Not sure what that is. Got an excellent picture of a food stall here, so I can see there's all the bright colours, all the different things they advertise. Candy floss, toffee apples. They've got their slogan, refresh and tasty. Absolutely crammed all around the top, things hanging up, things along the bottom row there. So that gives me an idea of what sort of food I might describe. And I could do further searches. I could maybe do fun fair people. Get an idea of the people at fun fair. So, okay, we've got some teenagers, group of lads on a ride there. Can think about the expressions on their faces. Got a family there. got people angrily playing dodgems. So all this research gives me plenty of ideas for what I'm going to write about. So I'm going to get some of those ideas down now.